Yes, my dear students, a very good morning to all of you. I hope all of you are doing good. I hope all of you are doing good. Great. So, as we have mentioned in our previous session, as we have talked about in our previous class, that we'll be taking up today basics of law, right? Basics of law, basics of interpretation. As soon as we complete basics of law. So, let's get into it. But before that, let me just ask you something from the previous session. May I? Come on, may I? Yes. So, if you remember, we have talked about the objective. है ना? We have talked about the objective. Objective of what? Sir, objective of our classes as well as objective set by ICAI for us. So, can you recall the objective set by ICAI for us? Yes, sir. Actually, this question we'll be answering two things. Right? वो बोलते हैं ना एक तीर से दो निशाने. With one arrow, two targets that can be met, because if I'm asking you this, obviously we'll talk about even the syllabus which you have, isn't it? CA Inter paper number 2, corporate and other laws. Very good. It's not simply law. Why? Taxation is also a law, correct? Taxation is also a law which you're going to study, so that's where this is corporate and other laws, right? So come on, give me the objective which they have set. That's it. And will you go this way? No, you'll say, sir, company law. As far as company law is concerned, LLP law is concerned, they said understanding, analyzing, and application. And then when it comes to Foreign Exchange Management Act, they simply said basic understanding. And then two topics relating to interpretation. One is the law, that is General Clauses Act, and another one is interpretation of statutes, deeds, and documents, which is having an objective of what? Understanding, they said. But we have understood, as I've told you, that it's not just understanding which is enough for us. We also need to understand the application of it. So, though they have not mentioned, but we said for these two topics, what will we do? Understanding and application both. Isn't it? So, through this, don't you think we have even recalled the syllabus of your CA Inter paper number 2? Having a weightage of how many marks? 100 marks. Having a weightage of how many marks? 100 marks. Very good. Now, talking further, if you recall, he was saying FEMA. Sir, you didn't talk about FEMA? No, I said Foreign Exchange Management Act. That itself is FEMA. In short, we call it as FEMA. Full name, if someone asks, obviously you should know. It is Foreign Exchange Management Act. Acha. In company law, if you remember, we don't have all the chapters, right? We don't have all the topics which are there in the Companies Act. It's only what? 11, right? 1 plus 10, 1 to 10 plus 11, isn't it? You remember? Companies incorporated outside India. There's some provision relating to that as well. Okay. So now let's get into this. So I'm happy that at least you remember something, right? Daily basis, what are you supposed to do? Revise, right? We'll also do a revision of what all we have discussed, as I've told you, in 10-15 minutes. But today we don't have that content, so I'm proceeding with what? Straight away the topic. Okay, sir, we could see some picture here which you have pasted, and that picture shows that there are empty chair and benches. Why so, sir? What is the topic? The basics. Basics. And what happens normally when I'm talking about basics, or anyone talks about basics, people think they know it already. Basics are, I already know. Basics are, it's not important because I have to become an expert. So, where is the question of understanding the basics or wasting time on basics, isn't it? And that's where what happens? Empty chairs. That's where what happens? Empty chairs. But do you think you can become an expert without knowing the fundamentals, without knowing the basics? No, never. So it's equally important. As I was telling you that day, if you want to become an expert, then you should have understanding of basics as well as miscellaneous. You remember, end-to-end approach. Correct? So it's equally important. We cannot become an expert without knowing the basics. So that's where we are spending some time on it. Okay? Yes, sir. This is our syllabus, which I have already mentioned. We recalled as well. Correct or not? Now, this is what is our agenda. Let's see how much we can complete today. Okay? How much we can complete today. So, first one is what? Why law? Right? Why law? So, I hope you remember that I know I am handsome. So, only staring at me will not be enough. So, what are you supposed to do? To take out your notebook, right, and keep writing as well. Put today's date. Put today's date. What is today's date? Right. So you know that. So please put it. Daily basis. Have the habit of writing the date and write something in the classes which is happening. Right. So now the basics is the topic. So you'll put the broad heading, the basics, and then you will come to why law. You'll come to what? Why law? Now, can you tell me why law? Why law? Very, very good. Yes, for a better society, isn't it? Why do we have law? For a better society, for better functioning of the society, for giving that justice, for giving a fair chance to everyone, isn't it? So it's not that only he knows why law or I know why law. All of us know why law. What is the significance of law? Well, so sir, why are you asking this question? Obviously, when we are starting the subject corporate and other laws, that means we are talking about law, we should understand why are we reading that, isn't it? So before getting into corporate and other, at least understand now why laws, why law. Okay. So I hope these pictures will help you understand better or probably improvise your answer, isn't it? Freedom, some chaos, bestiality, terrorism, murder. Can you understand something out of this? Yes, sir. We know if there is no law, then what can happen? The society would turn to be chaotic. There will be chaos, isn't it? Come on, just imagine if there is no law, what will happen? There will be chaos only, no? Imagine on a traffic signal, there is no traffic signal working actually. There is no traffic signal, only no Mamu there. What will happen? Chaos. You will not be able to move faster or smoothly, isn't it? So it's important that there shall be laws. Otherwise, it will lead to chaotic situation. It may lead to violence. It may lead to theft. It may lead to crime, isn't it? Yes, that's where, sir, it is important to have laws. Are you getting my point? So without laws, this all can happen, is what we are trying to tell you. And then further, if I talk in the positive way, then I'll say law protect our rights as a citizen, isn't it? Law gives us the right for right to a free trial, right to vote, even freedom to express, isn't it? So this all can help us understand, yes, why law. Please write. What are you waiting for? Do you think first I'll explain, then you will write? Right? Now we are not in childhood. You've cleared your CA foundation. And please understand, you should not just copy what is written on the board. This is your hand written notes, short notes. Isn't it? Why law? Without law, dash, chaos, violence, theft, crime. Okay. Don't just copy down whatever I have written. Okay. Without laws, what did I say? Come on. Chaos, violence, theft, crime, etc. Then next line you can say with laws, protection of our rights. Protection of our rights. That's it. That is enough. Which type of rights? Rights as citizen, right of a fair trial, right to vote, right of expression, all that, those rights. So in short, if you write, that's enough. But keep writing from every slide, from every page which I show you here. Please pick something and write. Okay? Yes, sir. Understood. Further, if you have not understood, then this picture, these two pictures will help you more. Will help you understand more or better. Could you see the first one, the bigger picture here? It's all chaos. You're not able to understand anything, isn't it? Are you able to understand where it's starting, where it's leading to? No. So that's what is chaos, no boss. So without laws, this is what is going to be the situation of the society, situation of us, isn't it? Is it good? No. And then the smaller one, yeah, it is going to give you a helping hand. Law is the one which is going to give you a helping hand, is going to protect you and your rights. All of you understand? Yes, sir, we do. Great. Now, will you draw the picture? No, no need. Huh? Unnecessarily don't waste your time drawing the pictures which I show you here. Okay. No, sir, I want to draw. Okay, your wish. But in examination, at least, please don't waste your time drawing pictures, because it's not required and you will not have that much of time as well with you to do all this. So if you love drawing and you want to take out your artistry skills, you can do it at home, okay, or whenever you are feeling bored or you don't have anything to do. Chalo. Next, now let's talk about what is law. Let's talk about what is law. So now we have talked about why law. Now we are talking about okay, we have talked about what? Why law, and now we are talking about what is law. If someone asks us, boss, define law for us, we should be in a position to define, isn't it? Answer. So how will you define? How will you answer? What is law? Good. It's nothing but rules and regulations. But do you think all the rules and regulations are laws? Every rule. Now you might have some rules in your family as well, in your home, in your hostel as well, in your society as well where you live. Those rules also are laws? No, sir. We understand that is rule, but that is not law. So one thing for sure, like how we have studied in Indian Contract Act, that all contracts are agreements, but every agreement is not a contract. Same way we understand that all laws are rules and regulations, but every rule and regulation is not a law. So now the question comes, then which type of rules and regulations we can call it as law? Okay, so he meant to say that proper authority. It's not that you and me can make law. It's not that principal of your college can make law. So we understand there has to be an authority. There has to be a proper authority who should be making those rules and regulations. And when we talk about authority, we need to understand that authority will have some jurisdiction. Don't you think so? Now, he was saying parliament. He was talking about parliament. So when I talk about parliament, now Parliament of India is what he is referring to, or what I am referring to if I say parliament. Am I right or not? So Parliament of India, so the moment I say of India, that means you have understood that they can make laws for India. They cannot make laws for Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Nepal is neighboring country only, sir. We have good relations. Let's make law for Nepal. Can we do that? Will they allow us? No. So we understand that jurisdiction also becomes important. Same way, if you say, sir, we want to make some laws for the state of Telangana. State of Telangana. Now, do you think the assembly, the legislature of Karnataka can make some laws for state of Telangana? No. So we understand again that though both the states are of the same country, India, but still, yes, it's not possible. It's not possible to make laws for each other. It's your jurisdiction, you can make it. So if you have jurisdiction for a particular area, that means you have authority over a particular jurisdiction, then you can make law only for that jurisdiction, not like whatever you want to. Isn't it, my dear friends? So we combine all this, then we can say, if you just see what rules and regulations for what, for a relationship in a particular domain, that means jurisdiction, set up by whom, proper authority, set up by whom, proper authority. So guys, please understand, only rules and regulations cannot be called as law. And then we understand rules and regulations will be obviously where there is a relationship, right? There are different types of relationship, not just the one which you're thinking of, right? So for a relationship in a particular domain, in a particular jurisdiction, set up by whom, the proper authority, set up by whom, the proper authority. Okay sir, wonderful. Sir, is there any alternate way of defining the same thing? Yes, there are different ways, obviously, correct? There are different ways of defining things. So if I have to go in an alternate way, you could see what I have written there. Written will of the legislature. Written will of what? The legislature. That is an alternate way of defining. Written will and wishes, right? This is my will, this is my will and wish, like we talk about it, right? So written will, I'm not talking about oral one. Written will of whom? Legislature. So legislature means only we are talking about states like Telangana, Karnataka? No, legislature can include even parliament. It's a broader term. Are you getting my point? Yes sir, we followed. Sir, you have defined it well, but then somewhere in your definition the objective is not covered. One might question like this, that sir, you have defined it, okay, good, but then in your definition the objective of law is not coming up. You're just saying rules, regulations for a relationship, for a particular jurisdiction, set up by a proper authority. But then you're not talking about the objective. One may question like this, isn't it? Come on guys, answer, hai na? So let me tell you that this is implied, meaning when I say rules and regulations for a relationship, for a relationship, what does it mean? Smooth relationship, good relationship, positive relationship. So that is where objective has been covered, no? Come on guys, if we also want to have some positive relationship, good relationship, don't you think we should have some rules and regulations? And do we have? Yes sir, we discussed already in our first session. Do's and don'ts, we talked about it. Those are nothing but rules and regulations for our sessions or for our classes. So if we are following it, don't you think our relationship will be smooth? Yes. And who had the right to frame that? I had the right, because it was my jurisdiction, no? Corporate and other laws is my jurisdiction. Am I right? So I have set it, I have the authority. But that is not law, okay? This is not law. What I frame is not law. We are talking about what? Country as a whole, state as a whole. So we need to understand this. Okay sir, followed. So have you understood this or any doubts? Okay. Now let's check your application. Let's check application. You understand, no? That first session I've told you, whatever we understand, that's not going to be enough. Rather, you should even check the application. You should be able to apply. Like we say, knowledge is power, knowledge is power. Right or wrong? Right sir, but incomplete. Knowledge is power only when applied. If you are able to apply, then that knowledge becomes powerful. Otherwise, it's not. So same way, now let's check the application here. You have understood the meaning of law. Now please tell me the meaning of business law. You know the definition of law. So now give me the definition of business law. Very simple question I'm asking. Rules and regulations for a relationship in business. Okay. That means for a business relationship. Okay. Set up by proper authority in a proper domain or in a particular domain. ऐसा ही बस एक वर्ड चेंज करते आप. हाँ, relationship को business relationship कर देते. That means you'll get the definition of business law. Is it? Yes sir. You're absolutely right. I'm very happy. You're absolutely correct. So if you know the definition of law, see, I just changed one word there. I added. One thing there, and that became the definition of business law. See, business law is also a law, no? So law, so that means rules and regulations. Again, for a relationship, but which relationship? Business relationship in a particular domain set up by proper authority. So now while writing, how will you write? You should use smartness. You should say business law is equals to law plus business relationship. Simple. Why should we write again full thing? Sir has written, but it's not required. If I would have been a student, obviously I would have written law plus business relationship. Short notes, boss. So this is how you make short notes. If you copy down from the board as it is, then that is not short notes. Same way if you are studying on your own from the book and you are noting down whatever is there in that book, you cannot call it as short notes then. Clear? Sir, one more, sir. One more. Let's check application again. Please, sir. Please. Yes, we will. Why are you pleading so much? We will. When you request something, can I deny? No, obviously not. Right? Business laws for CA aspirants. Business laws for whom? CA aspirants. You, all of you are CA aspirants or not? You aspire to become chartered accountants? Yes. So, sir, for us, what is business law? So now I want the definition of business law, but business laws for whom? CA aspirants. Let's see whether you can answer. Sir, never ICI can make law. What are you talking about? Do you think ICI can make law? No. Just because ICI has prescribed syllabus, does it mean that we'll say law only is made by ICI? No, sir. That is the reason why I am discussing all these things. Because later on, once we complete syllabus and someone asks you this and you say law is made by ICI, means he is going to kill you, kill me also. What nonsense you are talking about? You have completed CA inter syllabus and you don't know this. That stage should not come. Okay, anyways, no problem. Others? Rules and regulations a CA should follow. That's business laws for a CA aspirant. That's business laws for us. I don't think so. No, ma'am. So rules and regulations for a business relationship, no? What do you mean by business relationship? Tell me. Seller, buyer, company, shareholder, company, board of directors, landlord, tenant. These are all business relationships, commercial relationships. For CA aspirants, I want the persons who are doing CA. Okay, let me give you a chance to Karthik. No, sir. Okay, chalo. Let's unfold the suspense and understand. See, business laws for CA aspirant, that means first of all it is business law. So that is where this is my base. This is the base which I'll keep and frame the definition for business laws for a CA student. Rules and regulations? Yes, sir. For a business relationship? Yes, sir. In a particular domain. Why should I say particular domain or particular jurisdiction when I know my syllabus? I am going to study all the laws relating to India. Company law, where is it applicable, madam? LLP law, where is it applicable? FEMA, you don't know, but you can guess. India, no. Right? You have read Indian Contract Act in your CA foundation. Indian Partnership Act you have read. Sale of goods you have read. So those were laws which are applicable to India, no? Going forward, all the laws which you are going to read, even Income Tax Act which you read, GST law which you read, applicable to India, no? Are we bothered about the laws which are there for Telangana? Only for the state of Telangana, state laws are we reading? No. So we understand for a CA aspirant, the domain jurisdiction is what? India. Is India. Set up by Parliament. Good. Set up by, made by whom? Parliament. So I don't have to say proper authority now because I'm specifically asking you what? CA aspirant related. So CA aspirant is reading which laws which are there for the country as a whole. And the country as a whole means what will come? Parliament. Come on, don't hesitate. शर्माना नहीं लिखने में. समझ में आया? Immediately start off. Business laws for CA aspirant. Business laws for CA aspirant. So as we said, rules and regulations for a business relationship in India set up by Parliament. No sir, if we are required in our offices to read some state related laws and we have not yet become chartered accountant, we still aspire, then that's where I have added. If you just see on the board, you will find that I have written in India or a state also. Though I know as a student writing ICI examination, you will be reading, you will be bothered about the laws relating to the country, the laws relating to the country, that is India, and thereby Parliament. Why did I write state and legislature then? Come on, when you are doing your articleship, when you will be working with a practicing chartered accountant, there you might be required to, come on, do something relating to state laws. Your client might come. That time you will say, no, no, no. Gautam sir has told, my law, corporate and other law sir has told that we will be studying only those laws which are relating to the country. So I'll work only for that. Will you say all that? No, no. Obviously will work. So that's where I've written that also. But as such, ICI examination which you're going to write, there which type of laws? Relating to country, relating to India as a whole. I've already given you example, company law, LLP law, FEMA, or you talk about income tax. All these are what? Applicable to India. It's not state related law. Okay, my dear friends? Yes, sir. So we understood. So are you able to follow how we check the application? How we check the application? Are you able to follow? Arey bolo bhai. Haan sir. Good. Let's go for the next one. Sir, what is law you talked about? You talked about why is law important. We talked about significance of law. Why law? Sir, but then we could understand by now that there are different types of laws. So before proceeding further, can we discuss the different types of laws? Come on. Yes, sir. If you are saying yes only, no, sir. This is another smarter way of answering. No. If I am saying like this, that means next, what will I discuss? Different types of laws. But one we already got to know. See, now you got to know. Next I am discussing types of law. Immediately what you should do? Write the heading, types of laws. And then as and when we are answering, you should write it. Don't wait for the slide to turn. Don't wait for me to turn the page on the board. समझ में आ रहा लिखना, समझ में आ रहा लिखना. Okay, as soon as you understand, write. As soon as you understand, write. And then when I change the slide, when I show you the slide or the page, you should check whether you have written properly or not. Or if you have written properly, is there a chance of improvisation? Can I improve what I have written? Yes, so improve, right, improve. No, already written the same way. Then okay, leave it. Pat your back. Shabashi do apne aap ko, yes, I have written it well. You should praise yourself, isn't it? Good. So tell me now, different types of laws. Sir, one is business law, we got to know. Business laws, we got to know, isn't it? Sir, in business laws, we got to know that there is corporate law. So corporate law is not a separate type of law. It's a type of business laws only. So I don't have to give two answers, business law, corporate law. I say business law, that means I've also talked about corporate laws. What else? Criminal laws, civil laws, broad category. Okay. Anyways, no problem. At your level, I will give you marks for that. What else? I'm expecting at least one answer from you. Maybe for that only you have joined CA course. Who knows? I've given you the clue also now. So what is that called as? Tax laws are called as what? Fiscal laws. You might have read in your economics or 11th, 12th as well. Fiscal. F-I-S-C-A-L. Don't write it as physical. It will change the meaning only. Fiscal. F-I-S-C-A-L. So business law is there, sir. देखो अभी पता चल गया, लिखना आप लोग समझ रहे नहीं अभी भी। अरे एक आंसर पता चला बिजनेस, लिख दो। सेकंड पता चल गया फिस्कल, FISCAL, लिख दो। ऐसा सर और क्या हो सकता है? साइबर लॉज, साइबर 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 लॉज मीनिंग रिलेटिंग टू इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी, रिलेटिंग टू इंटरनेट। These days that is important, no? Theft, how is theft taking place these days? Digitally, online, correct, you're right. Cyber, है ना, same way. Did we say that we have to classify like Indian laws, foreign laws? No, no, that is not the right. Because again in foreign, what type of laws are there? That I'll ask you. Understand, my dear friend? Sir, cyber you said, okay, we have written, sir. What else? How many times we'll write, sir? Fiscal we have written, no? If you want to say economic laws. Sir, like FEMA. FEMA is an economic law. Okay. What else? Environmental laws. Environment related laws. Air Pollution Act. You might have heard of like that. There are some laws relating to environment. Okay. So few I have written which you mentioned. Yes, sir. Business, fiscal, economic, civil, criminal, cyber, environmental, etc. When we talk about business, we have covered corporate, commercial, labor, industrial laws as well. All that is a part of ultimately business. Okay. So now please tell me, out of all these types of laws, which one as a chartered accountant you will be more interested in or you will be working towards? Business, fiscal, taxation, how can you forget? Economic, these three. We majorly work for these three laws. Maybe sometimes some other law also we may refer to, but sometimes. But daily basis, what is going to be our bread and butter? Business laws, fiscal laws, economic laws. Okay. Now, if I ask you, you understood, right? So, as a chartered accountant, you will be mainly dealing with this. Sir, but as a chartered accountant, why should I bother about laws? As a chartered accountant, why should I bother about laws? Boss, as a chartered accountant, whom are you working for, or whom are you going to assist or support more? Businesses. As a chartered accountant, मैं किसको help करूंगा? Patient को, engineer को, नहीं ना, business को. You need to understand, as a chartered accountant, I'll be working for businesses. So when I am going to work for businesses and businesses are going to be regulated by laws, don't you think as a chartered accountant I should know those laws? That's what we are trying to. That's what we are trying to. Okay, sir. Fine. I understood, sir. Sir, but if someone asks me to define what is fiscal laws, someone asks me to define what is fiscal laws, how will I define? How will I define fiscal laws? See, people might ask, define fiscal laws. And then what is business laws, sir? That is also given by government only, no, sir? Every law is given by government only, no, sir? Okay, somewhat better. At least you say this, I can accept this answer. But if you say law given by government, then that will be like, that is for every law then. That's not right. Good. So I'll just improvise on your answer and I'll say law relating to exchequer. Law relating to what? Exchequer. You know check, spelling of check. So write check and then write X. Yes, sir. X also I know. EX. And then exchequer I said. So at the end what will you put? R. अरे E तो पहले से है ना गुरु. चेक का स्पेलिंग आता ना अपने को. So check लिख दो. उससे पहले EX लिख दो. and then R लिख दो बाद में, हो गया exchequer. तो laws relating to exchequer is nothing but fiscal laws. Sir, but what is exchequer? That only we don't know, sir. I know that, sir. That is where I'll help you, sir. Exchequer means revenue of the government. Okay, exchequer means what? Revenue of the government. And now tell me, where does the revenue of the government mainly comes from? Very good, taxes. So all laws relating to taxes is nothing but fiscal laws. Sir, is there any other source of revenue for the government? Yes. Taxes, duties is one. Apart from this, sir, they may get gift, they may take loan, like that there may be other sources also. Correct? But then when we are talking about taxes, duties, that means we are talking about fiscal laws. That's the major source. You can say maybe 80-90% of the revenue comes from here. Okay? Okay, sir. Fine, sir. So I hope you are able to follow what I am trying to tell you. Different types of laws, and we'll be bothered about every type of law? No, sir. Business, fiscal, economic. This is what we bother about. As a chartered accountant, do you think I will keep guiding people on traffic laws, Air Pollution Act? No, no. You understand this. But GST law, Income Tax Act, Companies Act, LLPs Act. Do you think I am going to guide people on that if I become a chartered accountant? No. Oh, uncle. On this, yes. Karthik, where are you? What? No. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to guide people on Income Tax Act, GST, company law. Huh? That's what I said, sir. That why will I do for all laws? I'll do only for these type of laws, which are business, fiscal or economic laws. If you come to me and say, in Air Pollution Act, I have some work. I am a chartered accountant. And you are asking me to do work relating to Air Pollution Act. Will I do it? No, because I don't specialize in it. I will direct you to go to some person. If you come and say, sir, professional tax related some work is there. PF law related work is there. Company law related work is there. Income Tax Act related work is there. Then am I going to do it as a chartered accountant? Yes, that's what we're saying, sir. Maybe you went into some other world. Okay. If not, that's good. Chali. So let's move on and let's talk about the next one, which is sources of law. What? Sources of law. Meaning, where does law come from, boss? Where does law comes from? Now don't tell me Britishes, because my question is not source of Indian law. My question is sources of law. I am talking about any country. I am not just talking about India. Did I talk about, मैं जब पूछा आपको मतलब what is law, did I say what is law in India? So same way, when I talked about different types of laws, did I say different types of laws in India? Then even in case of sources of law, I am just saying sources of law. I am not saying Indian law, Korean law, British law, any law. What is the source? होगा सर कुछ तो भी. Why should we take tension? You're waiting for me to complete drinking water? Then answer no. Incidents. Okay. 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 Ancient civilization. Impressive. Assumptions. She's saying incidents, he's saying assumptions, he's saying ancient civilization. Come on, Lokesh. Same answer, ditto. Same pinch. Anyways, those who have answered are all right, absolutely correct. But let us put it in a proper way. See, first thing I will say, the source of law is society. What? Society, our culture, what we think, how we are. So, sir, that's what I also said, ancient civilization and all. Yeah, so I didn't say your answer is wrong. I just said I'm improvising. She said incidents happening in our life. Yeah, so you may take it in this if you want to. Okay, the society, the rituals, the beliefs, the values, the morals. Do you think we forget that while making law? Is government forgetting those type of things and making law? Tell me, boss. No, they consider this. Rather, they take that as the first thing. If they make some law, let us say today Modi makes some law and says that everyone can use footwear inside the religious place like temple, mosque and all. He's made new law. Footwear, shoes, chappal allowed inside temple. What will happen? Within a day or maybe less than day, within hours, he'll be finished. Finished. Because he's forgetting our rituals, culture, values. Isn't it? So, one has to understand that. That is the major source. That is the first source. Apart from this. Case laws, sir. Case laws. Case laws, court decisions. Bhul jate. Court decisions, don't you think, are important? Because some persons had some fight, some dispute, and then they went to court of law for resolving it, for fixing it, and there came a judgment. So we understood that this can be used while making law, or this has to be a law. Government will forget court decisions, tell me, my dear friends. No. So that is also another source. That is also another source. Third, sir, as madam was saying, some incidents for which law is required, so they'll visualize. Some situations where they need to assume something, so that will come. Yeah. So that we can club it and say legislature, parliament, expert committee. So like that, there are broadly 3 sources. Now, if you come up with any other answer or any other words, it will fit into these 3 for sure. Correct? So, what are the different sources of law? The first one, tradition, customs, usage, rituals, beliefs, society, practice, culture, religion, etc. Second, court decisions. Right? Case laws, court decisions. Sir, you have written something else as well there. Other names. Court decisions, other names are what? Equity, judicial or quasi-judicial pronouncements. Those are the other names. And the third source, parliament, expert committee. Meaning, if you want to write in other way, then you can say incidents for which law is required, for which certain assumptions to be made. For that also there will be law. So we don't wait for court decisions only to come, then only we'll make law. Before only we can visualize and think, oh, for this there should be law, there should be rules and regulations, and we'll get it. Okay, guys. Right, sir. Sir, in this slide, we did not understand a few things. Am I right? If you say, no, sir, we have understood fully, I'll ask you questions. Come on, you did not understand something is what I believe. Am I right? And that too in the second point. First point, there's nothing to say, not understood. Am I right? And if I'm wrong, please let me know. What is tradition? Do I need to tell you? Custom, usages, ritual, belief. Why? You know all this. Same way, third one, there's nothing that you don't know. Sir, second one is what is causing some problem for us. So what you should do? Ask. Raise your hand and ask. Unless I myself is telling you. होगा ना आगे भी कुछ मैं बोल दिया हाँ हो गया और आपको नहीं समझ में आया क्या करना? Raise your hand and ask. That's why you're in the class, no? So please understand that. If you don't understand any single word in a particular page, in a particular slide, or whatever we are studying, your duty I'm saying, not right. It's your duty to raise your hand, ask. Once it is clear, then move ahead. Okay. So now coming to equity. Have you heard of equity share capital? Yes, sir. Equity shares we've heard of. So equity shares and here equity. No, sir. What? Equity shares, equity, sir. Is it like having some link? The word equity there and here? Yes. See, when I say equity, you're talking about uniformity. You're talking about uniformity. When you buy equity share and I buy equity share, he buys equity shares, uniformity is there or not? Yes. Same way when I'm talking about court decisions. If the facts and situations, intention and all other circumstances are same, in your case, in my case, don't you expect the same judgment then? That is why when you argue, you give the reference of the similar case laws. Sir, same situation was there and this court gave that particular judgment, so you also give this particular judgment only. Don't you expect that? Yes, that means what? Uniformity. That means what? Equity. That is where people use this word as well, equity. So in law we should understand when someone is saying equity, what does it mean? Court decisions, court's judgment. Understand? ठीक है sir. See, देखो, context plays a huge role. Okay, context always plays a role. Sir, we didn't understand. Take an example, sir. Okay, sir. Now Shivani madam, after the class is going where? Wherever she wants to, college, home, wherever. Okay. So she takes out her two-wheeler and at the gate someone is an obstacle for her. So she says, uncle, please move. Uncle, please move. Sir, she can blow horn. No, sir. Whose example it is? Mine, no? So I'll decide. Okay, so she doesn't blow the horn. She says, uncle, please move. Uncle moves and she goes. She reaches home, parks the vehicle, and near the lift, she finds some gentleman and she wishes him, good morning, uncle. And uncle also replies saying, good morning, beta. How are you? Yes, all good, uncle. So your C inter class has started. Are you doing well? Yes, yes, uncle. That's all going well. Bye. Thank you. She reaches home. Ting tong, ting tong. And then a gentleman opens the door and says, wow, uncle, I enjoyed the class today so much. I loved the class today. I could understand everything today in the classes. I'm enjoying the CA inter. Okay, she touches the feet of that gentleman and hugs him. Uncle. 3 places she has used what? Uncle, uncle, uncle. One was near the academy. Totally stranger. She has seen for the first time in her life. And maybe next time she'll never see in her life. She has forgotten his face also. Second uncle. Neighbor uncle maybe. So they know each other but not. Yes or no? Then the third one. Obviously relative, family member. Bade papa, chote papa. Correct or not? So we could understand without even someone explaining. If I wouldn't have explained, you would have understood, no? Because in the context you're trying to understand that word. Uncle, first time stranger, second time neighbor, कोई तो पहचान वाला है. थर्ड बोला तो ऑब्वियसली फैमिली मेंबर. डोर कौन खोलता? बाजू वाला आके अपने घर पे खोलता क्या? So family member है, वो relative है. That we understand. So context helps us understand or not? Same way, in the context of law, if someone is talking about equity, then we'll understand what? Court decisions. But sir, in the context of law only, company law only, equity shares also will come, no? But in the context you'll understand easily. That's not a problem at all. Don't worry. You will understand in the context. Sometimes we don't know the meaning of particular term, but in the context, in that sentence, we understand. वैसे ही होगा. Don't worry about it. Okay? Clear, guys? Next. Sir, judicial pronouncement. Pronouncement means what, sir? Decision. Verdict. Judicial decision, okay, given by judges, given by courts. Sir, what about quasi-judicial pronouncements? Quasi-judicial. Sir, quasi-contract we learnt. प्यार किया नहीं जाता हो जाता है. प्रेमम चेयमु ऐपोतदी. वैसे contract which you don't want to do but just happens, that is quasi-contract, no? Come on guys, correct me if I'm wrong. So same way, sir, is it like that? Quasi-judicial body which is not a judicial body but then treated as judicial body? Not exactly, but then yes, to some extent. Let me tell you the difference between judicial body and quasi-judicial body. Supreme Court, High Court, District Courts, these are established by government. And who has given the power to that central government or government? Constitution. Who has given the power? Constitution. Constitution gave the power, that is where government could establish these courts. Whereas, when I talk about tribunals like Income Tax Tribunal, National Company Law Tribunal, NCLT, if I talk about these tribunals or appellate tribunals, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, these type of tribunals or appellate tribunals are established by whom? Government. Sir, but who has given the power to the government? Act, law. Like Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Who has given the power to central government to establish that? Income Tax Act, 1961. Companies Act 2013 gave the power to the government to establish NCLT, NCLAT, National Company Law Tribunal, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. You understood? It's not the constitution. It's the act. So when act gives the power and thereby government establishes, then that type of judicial body is not called as judicial. It is called as quasi-judicial body. Whereas judicial body means who's giving the power? Constitution. Remember this, huh? Very fundamental thing. You should know it. And only knowing is not enough. Even writing down is important, so that you can revise it and don't forget it. Sir, you are not writing. I will not write everything. This is just a presentation. So I'll write only selected words here. Okay. So whether the judgment is given by courts or judgment is given by the tribunals or the appellate tribunals, it matters. It helps in making law. So this is the reason why we are saying in sources of law we have to write even judicial as well as quasi-judicial pronouncements. So when they make law, they refer to both the type of decisions. They don't just refer to court's decisions. Acha, one more thing, if you've written this much, you've written the meaning of both the terms, no? Judicial body, quasi-judicial body. लिख लिए क्या? Okay, then sir, you said court, judicial body, tribunal or appellate tribunal, quasi-judicial body. Yes, because generally this is what happens. Generally, I didn't say every time. Sir, why not every time? Because in company law, we have something called a special court. What? Special court. Who has established that? Government. Who gave the power? Companies Act, not Constitution. So, though Act gave the power, but the name is not tribunal. The name is court. So, you need to understand, it's not that court means always judicial body. कभी हो सकता कोर्ट है लेकिन क्या रहेगा? Quasi judicial body रहेगा. क्यों रहेगा? Because who has given the power to the government? Act. So kindly understand, my dear friends, that you can't go by the name always. You need to understand government has established. Every time government only will establish. But who gave the power to the government to establish? If the answer is constitution, then it is a judicial body. If the answer is act, that is a law, then it is quasi-judicial body. Is it clear, my dear friends? So you followed sources. Now you know all the sources of law. Broadly, how many sources are there? 3. First one, tradition, culture, society, ritual, belief, whatever you understand. Second, equity or quasi-judicial or judicial pronouncements. Third, right, or incidents for which laws, rules, regulations, or assumptions need to be made. In short, I have written parliament, expert committees, legislature. Okay? Sir, but why are you writing multiple words? Tradition, like you have written customs, usages, rituals, beliefs, society, practices. Why, sir? Why like this? Why have you written? See, because you should know different terminologies as well. Let's say Lokesh is your friend. Mehul, Lokesh is your friend. So you go to his house. He stays on the third floor. Now you don't have the patience to go to third floor to call him because both of you are coming to the class. Hai na? So thereby what will you do? From ground floor you will shout. What? Lokesh. No one comes out. Why? Because at home he is called by name Laddu. And you are calling what? Lokesh. He doesn't remember, his parents, his neighbors also don't know his name is Lokesh. Or they don't remember because they're used to Laddu, Laddu, Laddu. And you don't call him Laddu. He'll not come out. So don't you think you should know? Okay, Laddu is his other name. So now you call Laddu. Laddu comes out. समझ में आ रहा मैं जो बोल रहा हूं? So at in class Lokesh, at home or neighborhood Laddu. If you know this, your life will become easy. Okay, same way in the subject you should know the different terminologies. Not knowing one name, okay, only one name is not enough. The different words, because you never know how people will call it. And if you say I don't know this, just imagine you're a chartered accountant, expert, professional, practicing. Someone addresses by some other term and you say you don't know, how will it be? Isn't it? So that's where I'm trying to use as many terms as possible. Okay, sir, followed, sir. Let's go for the next one, sir. May I, sir? Great. Let's talk about objective of law. Next one, objective of law. Sir, which law? Any law. I didn't say Indian law, I didn't say foreign law, I didn't say income tax act, I didn't say company law. I said sources के जैसा. Objective of any law. Can you tell me what is the objective of any law? Acha, can you tell me the objective of Indian Contract Act 1872, which you have read already? Objective of Indian Partnership Act 1930, 32, Sale of Goods Act 1930. You know that there are objectives for that, those laws. Rather, for every law you will find there is some objective. Every law will have some objective, which they'll call it as preamble. So what is it? Now we are not going to discuss each of them. We are generally discussing. Like, do you think Shivani has got some objective here? Lokesh has got some objective, Karthik has got some objective. Like that, everyone sitting here, 50 odd people, all of you have got certain objective. अब देखो मुझे नाम नहीं पता सबके, तो वैसे ही बोलना पड़ेगा ना, नंबर, right? So all of you are having some objective. Now I cannot ask each and every one of you what is your objective, but still can give you what is your objective. Without asking Lokesh what is your objective in life, I can tell you what is your objective. Without asking Shivani, I can tell you what is your objective in life. Same way all others. Without asking you, I can tell you. Sir, how is it possible? It is possible. You want to try? You want to try? Challenge me? Challenge me? Yes, बोलो क्या है उसमें? मैं मारूंगा थोड़े ही. Yes, sir. Let's take the challenge. Come on, give us. Let's see whether you are right or not. Who knows I am wrong? But I am 100% sure I will not be wrong this time at least. And the answer is, all of you have an objective, and that objective is be happy. What? Be happy. Now correct me if I am wrong. Now Mehul says, no sir, my objective is to become a successful businessman. After that, what, you want to be sad? Sir, I want to be a successful practicing chartered accountant, sir. Karthik says this. So after that, you want to be sad? You want to be unhappy? She says, sir, I want to be the best daughter-in-law, sir. थोड़ा jokes तो कर सकते ना मैम. So then you want to be unhappy. You want to make others unhappy? No. So ultimately, whatever you say, you want that to lead to what? Happiness. You want that to lead to happiness. That's where I said generally, what is your objective? Happiness. Be happy. Khatam. Same way, every law has some objective, but it should lead to something. Ultimately, that is what every law aims at. Can you tell me what it aims at? What ultimately is the objective? Justice. Fantastic. I'm happy I got the answer. Normally, I don't get this answer. 300 plus marks. You've proven, huh? Good, good. नहीं नहीं अच्छा है ना. तारीफ कर रहे तो थैंक यू बोलना. नहीं नहीं नहीं. हम्बल रहना. बट कोई अप्रिशिएट किए तो थैंक यू बोलना. रिजेक्ट नहीं करना. अप्रिसिएशन को कभी भी रिजेक्ट नहीं करना. मिलता है मुश्किल से. So very good. I'm very happy. All of you actually are very good because you are interacting well. You are answering well. See, if you expect no sir, I didn't give 100% answer, no sir, that's okay. If you give 100% answer, then you will come here, I'll have to go. You will take away my job then, right? Jokes apart, but at this stage, whatever you're giving is the best. Good. Continue. Keep, continuing that, okay? Chalo. So, justice is what is the objective of any law. Which type of justice? Socio-economic justice. Which type of justice? Socio-economic justice. Now, whether you take Indian Contract Act, whether you take Companies Act, whether you take Air Pollution Act, whether you take Income Tax Act, any act you take, ultimately, don't you think it should lead to this socio-economic justice? Socio meaning? Acha, economic meaning? Monetary. So, socio meaning non-monetary, other than monetary. See, economic is monetary, other than monetary is all socio. So, socio-economic justice. Okay, sir. So, socio-economic justice. Sir, can you just elaborate on this? Can you just give me one simple example to understand? Yes, why not? We will. Shall I, ma'am? So, madam is coming from her home, right? Mehul also is coming from his home. So, both are coming to the class. So, this fellow Mehul, because he got late and traffic signal turns red, what he does? Jumps the signal. Mamu stops him. Yeah, catches him, stops him and says, "Hey Mehul!" Now you'll say, sir, how does he know his name? Whose example it is? My example. Okay. And remember, these are some hypothetical examples, not factual examples. These are not facts. These are hypothetical, created out of my imagination. So don't try to audit that example. Okay. Okay, sir. So the cop stops Mehul and says, Mehul, you have jumped the signal. You have to pay fine. Sir, how much? 1,000 rupees. Ah! Sir, 1,000 for just this jumping signal. Sir, actually what happened is I am going to class and I have to be on time, otherwise they'll not allow me this, that and all. He says, please, please, please. No, please, nothing. Sir, but I don't have 1,000. Then come. Where? Mavaya Garintiki. Meaning? Sasral, PS, jail. Sir, how many days? 1 week. How much? 1 week. So, you pay fine 1,000. Either you pay fine of rupees 1,000 or imprisonment for 1 week. Now, from behind, Shivani is also coming. So, you might have understood she has also jumped the signal because she is also late. He is late and she is coming behind means she is also late. No, further late. So, jumps the signal. And again, Mamu catches hold of her, stops her and says, hey Shivani Sabki Nani, come on, you have jumped the signal. So, she also pleads, sir, I am going to class, CA students are, please sir, nothing sir, come on, pay fine. How much sir? 100 rupees. Whose expression is this? Mehul's expression. What nonsense. I was asked to pay rupees 1,000 and Shivani is asked to pay 100. Same situation. Correct? Same offense. But fine different. 1000 for me and 100 for her. Bhagwan. Devda, Devdu. Correct? This fellow will shout. Then madam says, sorry sir, I don't have 100 rupees. Come. Where? Mavai garintiki. How many days, sir? 1 day. Mehul. So 1 day for her and 1 week for me. Don't you think he doesn't like this? He says, if I am being prohibited to live in this society for 1 week for this offense, then she should also be prohibited to live in this society for 1 week. Or if 1 day for her, then 1 day for me as well. 1000 for me, then 1000 for her, or 100 for her, then 100 for me. That means he expects what? Justice. Monetary way, economic, and socio. Yes. So when he doesn't have the right to live in this society, that means we're talking about socio. So socio justice, economic justice. Any law you take, don't you expect justice? No sir, we read the objective of Indian Contract Act. It was written there to regulate the contractual relationship between the parties. What's the objective there? What's the preamble there? To regulate the contractual relationship between the parties. Okay. So how do they want to regulate it? In a way that it should lead to injustice? No. Justice only, no? So then, sorry, are you able to understand, my dear friends, that every law we expect, yes, should ultimately lead to what? Justice, justice, justice. Which type of justice means monetary and other than monetary. That means socio-economic. Like your happiness. Ultimately this. So any law you take, ultimately this is what we want. Specifically there may be some objective for sure written there. But that will lead to, or that has to lead to this. Clear? Yes sir. So let's go ahead and talk about the next one. Any doubt, please let me know. Raise your hand in case you have any doubts. Features of law. Next one, features of law. Okay sir, what features sir? Features of law, characteristics of law. Like if I talk about features of this classroom, you will say sir, it's a 4-walled room with one entry, one door, correct? Entry, exit, same door, with some benches, some furniture here with speaker, mic, camera, recording setup, projector. Yes or no? Like that you will describe the features, no? Same way we want the features of what? Law. Which law? Any law sir. Did I say only company law, business laws, fiscal law, Indian law? No, any law I am talking about. So tell me the features. Sir, one we know sir. Before you start, we want to give the answer. Okay, give. How can I stop you? Sir, law is mandatory sir. Law is mandatory sir. We know this. Come on, you got to know one answer, right? No, what are you waiting for? Mandatory. Again, don't write law is mandatory. You write mandatory, it's enough. You'll understand. Ha bhai. So mandatory. Law is mandatory. Uncle, show me the driving license. Show me your driving license. You don't have. How dare you sit in this class without driving license? You don't know driving license is mandatory? Now what will you say? Sir, driving license is mandatory. You're right. But when I am driving a 2-wheeler or a 4-wheeler, that too on the road, that time it is mandatory. That means from this you have understood one thing. Only saying mandatory is not right. Mandatory where it is applicable. For whom it is applicable, where it is applicable, there it is mandatory, no? Suppose I say, oh Shivani, where is certificate of incorporation? Come on. She'll say, sir, I am not a company. I am an individual. How can you ask me certificate of incorporation, sir? Correct? Are you getting my point? So certificate of incorporation she cannot give. No, this is mandatory. Arre, it's mandatory for companies. I'm not a company. Are you getting my point? So mandatory, come on, where it is applicable, for whom it is applicable. ऐसा और बोलो, come on, few more. Ignorance is not an excuse. Don't you think that's another feature? You have read the Latin maxim also for this: ignorantia juris non execusat. Foundation में ignorantia juris non execusat. Ignorance of law is not an excuse. Not an excuse. Latin maxim है. अब नहीं पढ़े वो अलग बात है, आप लोग है, बट मैं भी पढ़ाता हूँ ना सीए फाउंडेशन. Ignorance of law is not an excuse. Meaning what? Ignorantia juris non execusat. Okay, sir. Fine. But what is it, sir? Abhi, the same example which I take, the traffic law. Suppose our friend Mehul says to the cop that I was not taught any traffic law, so I was not aware that there is something called a signal and there is something called a jumping the signal. I was not taught by anyone. Do you think he can escape? No. So one has to understand that if you are staying in a particular society, in a particular city, in a particular place, you are bound to know the law of that particular place. Suppose you start a company and you are an engineer. Can you say that I am not aware of company law because I am an engineer? No, you are bound to know that. We will presume you know it. Like Mukku Ambani now. Who's Mukku Ambani? Mukku Bhai, Mukesh Ambani sahab says, I am an engineer by qualification. I am not aware of company law. I am not aware of SEBI laws. So thereby don't impose any fine on me. And they will not impose. Beta jao, ghar jao. No, that won't happen. Ignorance is not an excuse. Okay, sir. Next. Come on. Features. We are into features of law. Huh? How many we have completed till now? 2. Mandatory, where it is applicable or whom it is applicable. And second, ignorance is not an excuse. Any other feature you know? Sorry? So when I say mandatory, there only it comes. Let's take it. If you want, you can club it there. Mandatory. So that means if you don't follow, there will be punishment. The implication of it. Acha, it is important not just to know application. It is important to know implication also. है ना? Like if I say not valid and if I say void, is it one and the same? Huh? What difference है? Not valid और void में क्या difference है? So our sir said that बहुत difference है, बहुत difference है, and then concluded with same ही है sir. And let me tell you, both are different. Because if you understand, when I say not valid, it can imply void or it can imply voidable as well. Not valid implies void or voidable as well. But when I'm saying void, that means it's void. So there is a difference. You can't say not. And you can't say bahut, wo bhi galat. So that means implication is important. If you don't understand implications of things, don't you think again you will be in soup? Sir, which soup, sir? Tomato soup. Chalo. So jokes apart, let's now talk about features. Continue with features. Any other feature which you know? Sir, we know one more thing. That is a written will of the legislature. We have discussed, no? It's a written will. Law means it has to be written. It can't be oral. And that too written in special way. In what? Special way. It's not the language which we use in our day-to-day life. Isn't it? Don't you think the legal language is different? Yes, sir. And now if you look at the board, I have written few more. Which one? Flexibility, sir. What is flexibility? Sir, law keeps changing. Sir, why like that? Why keeps changing? Law is for whom? Society. And do you think society is evolving? Yes. So when society is evolving, the laws relating to the society also should evolve, no? Should change, no? Yes, sir. That's where amendments. And sir, just now you gave the example, Mehul jumped the signal, Shivani jumped the signal, the cop collected the fine. But let us say fire ambulance or the hospital ambulance or the police van jumps the signal. Police van is trying to catch the thief. Then do you think again Mamu will stop them? No. So exceptions are there? No. That means what? Flexibility. So flexibility means two things. Number one, amendments. Number two, exceptions. Are you able to follow? So law has got this feature of flexibility as well. Next, every law will have an objective. Yes, sir, for sure. Every law will have some objective. Without objective, why will they frame law? There will be uniformity. Yes, sir. Law cannot give unequal treatment. It has to be uniform. Isn't it? If there is no equality somewhere, there has to be a rationale behind it. There has to be a rationale behind it. Like Income Tax Act, when you read, you will get to know that agricultural income is not taxed. You say, sir, this is discrimination. They are charging tax from all other businesses but not from agriculture. There is a rationale behind it which you will study. You will get to know. Are you getting my point? So if there is no uniformity somewhere, there will be a rationale. Are you getting my point, guys? Suppose I say, Lokesh, you sit behind last bench, because Lokesh height you can see is 6'3". Just an example. 6'3", that's why I asked him to sit behind. Others I said, wherever you want you sit. So he'll say, sir, there is no uniformity, you are discriminating, you are partial, all that. No, Baba, I have a rationale. That's where I said this. Then you will not mind. Then Lokesh will not mind. Isn't it? That way. Next. Compliance of law in true letter and spirit. How should you comply the law? In true letter and spirit. Sir, what is this, sir? Compliance of law we have heard of. You're saying compliance of law in true letter and spirit. Okay, I'll give you an example again. And meanwhile, you can write that Latin maxim, or ignorance is not an excuse. What is the Latin maxim? Ignorantia juris non execusat. Bolo ek bar. Ignorantia juris non execusat. Ignorantia juris non execusat. Ignorantia juris non execusat. What is our objective? What is our objective? 60 plus 60 plus 60 plus. Don't forget, So that's where Latin maxims also become important. If you are just aiming to clear, then okay, leave it. But do you have that objective of only clearing the examination? Or will clear in 7, 9 attempts, 10 attempts? No. Okay. So guys, compliance of law in true letter and spirit. Let's understand this with an example. Simple examples only I'll take now. Isn't it? Because we have to discuss the topics, then we'll take those examples. Abhi bahut simple example, day-to-day life examples I'm taking. Our friend Lokesh is at the traffic signal and the signal is red. He has to go straight. Signal is red. So he says, I am the obedient citizen of this country. How can I jump the signal? I am not like Mehul and Shivani. He said this, I didn't say, So he sees there is a free left. There is a free left. So what he does? Free left hai na? So what he did? Took that left, then took the U-turn and then took left. That means he went straight. Because signal was red. Do you think he has complied the law? How many of you say no? Karthik is saying no. How many of you support Karthik? Raise your hand. How many of you support Karthik? See, I am supporting. I am supporting. I have raised my hand. Karthik is right. Boss, this is not compliance of law. No, sir, he didn't jump the signal. Arey, you're just seeing the half picture. Free left is for whom? Those who want to go left. This fellow has to go straight. And he's doing like this. Imagine everyone start doing like this. And this side also, let's say this side, our Balaswami is there. Balaswami also has to go straight, but he also takes left, U-turn, then left. Third side also. So fourth side, whose signal is green, what is that they need to do? Wait and watch till the signal turns red. Because just imagine three sides this is happening, there will be chaos, no? So for the fourth side, whose signal is green, will not be able to proceed only. Imagine the situation. समझ में आ रहा मैं जो बोल रहा हूं? फोर्थ साइड में बंदा जा ही नहीं पाएगा, बिकॉज थर्ड साइड में ब्लॉक कर दे रहे थ्री साइड्स में. जिनका सिग्नल रेड है वो पूरा ब्लॉक कर रहे. Is this the idea of the law? No. So that means you have not complied with law, because you have not complied the law in true letter and spirit. Your compliance has not satisfied the objective. Your compliance has not helped them achieve the objective. That is where, that is not compliance only. When will it be called as compliance? Only when it is compliance in true letter and spirit. नाम के लिए नहीं, सही में करना. పేరు కోసం కాదు, నిజంగా చేయాలి. అదే నేను చెప్పిన మాట. Getting it? So you have to follow it in true letter and spirit. Whatever you do, don't you think you should not do it for the namesake, but do it really effectively so that the objective is achieved? Same way law also, no? That's what we are trying to tell you. Clear? All of you followed? Yes, sir. So now look at the features and tell me if you have any doubt. All the features are cleared, every word there. And when I say this, that means even look at the words. Each and every word is clear. Come on. Right. So let's go for the next one then. After features, let's talk about procedure for enactment. Procedure for enactment. Procedure for making law. Let's discuss that. Sir, we know this already. Okay, if you know, share it. Who's stopping you? Correct? Procedure for enactment of law. अरे अरे अरे, आराम से अपन एक्सप्रेस ट्रेन नहीं है यहाँ पे. आराम से बोलो, सबको समझ में आना. फर्स्ट बिल इज पास्ड, तो मैं पूछूंगा फर्स्ट बिल बनाया कौन? अगर बिल पास ही डायरेक्ट होना था तो बिल कहां से ऊपर से टपक गया क्या? है ना? तो समझ में आ रहा है. पहला चीज, आप जब, एक मिनट सुनो, कोई चीज अपन कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं रहते या वी वांट टू बी ऑन द सेफर साइड, देन वी हैव टू थिंक अबाउट आवर आंसर. नॉट जस्ट स्पीक व्हाटएवर वी I mean it comes to our mind. Think about our answer. Have you thought of your answer before giving? No, I know that. You're just speaking your mind, which is okay. But then please improvise if possible. Think about your answer. Then raise your hand. I'll give you a chance. Same applies to all of you. Before giving the answers, think. And then raise hand. That will help you improvise the language, the words properly, you know. Euphemisms, remember, no? वो भी याद रखना है. और थोड़ा सेफ भी रहते. इफ वी आर सेफ, ऑब्वियसली इट्स गुड, नो? जैसे आप फर्स्ट एकदम बोल दिए, फर्स्ट क्यों बोलना फर्स्ट? अपन ऐसा बोल सकते सर बिल इज पास्ड, तो हाँ सेफ है. चलो, आई डिडंट से सर फर्स्ट कुछ और होता होगा, लेकिन मेरे को कहां से मालूम? बिल पास से मालूम, तो बच गए. ऐसा ये तरीका भी है. ये सब स्मार्टनेस भी सीखना है. चलो कोई बात नहीं, अब बोलो. हाँ, so bill is passed और approved by the parliament दोनों अलग है. Okay, so he is right, but he is not fully right. He has shared the steps, but he's not shared all the steps. Few things which we got to know from his answer is, sir, it has to be taken to the parliament. Parliament has to approve it, and then president has to sign it. Then that bill becomes law. Right. But then there are many questions which are unanswered in his answer. Like, first thing is, who prepares that bill? Who prepares that draft? First is that, no? Suppose I am talking about finance bill. So who will prepare it? Ministry of Finance, Finance Ministry. Correct or not? That means the respective ministry will have to prepare that draft of bill with the help of experts, expert committees. When we say ministry will prepare that, that means minister will sit and prepare. No, there is a team of experts who's doing this. And then it has to be taken to cabinet. First cabinet. Show to the cabinet, the other ministers. Take their inputs. If possible to improvise, improvise. And then go to parliament. Parliament again, first Lok Sabha, the lower house. There, don't say simply pass. Discuss, debate. Debate should happen. We are in a democracy, boss. There are members of other members of parliament as well. Opposition side and as well as ruling party. दोनों हैं. Union cabinet में थोड़ी सब थे. So even there are other persons of the ruling party as well as there is opposition party. Hear out from them what is their viewpoint. So once that is done, then voting. That means then passing, then approving. Then taking it to the upper house, Rajya Sabha. Manmohan Singh साहब आए थे ना परसों. If you have heard of, if you have seen the news. So he came to Rajya Sabha, 90 years, wheelchair he came. Because he felt that his vote should be there for that Delhi related bill was there. So what I am trying to tell you is, Rajya Sabha, upper house, after Lok Sabha. Again there discussion, debate, then voting, approval. Once it is done, then we can say, parliament approved it. And once parliament approved it, then as he said, take it to the president. President will have the right to give his or her comments, inputs, and then put the signature, assent. In law we call it as assent. Then that bill, that draft now becomes law. And once it becomes law, implementation has to take place. It's not that they just frame the law to keep it on walls, no. What should happen then? Implementation. And after implementing, they'll realize that there are some changes which are required. So amendments also will keep taking place. Like that, the whole procedure goes on. Followed, my dear friends? Sir, in between they will publish, no sir. You did not talk about that, sir. Because once law is framed, it has to be made known to the public. It should be published. And where is it published? Times of India, Deccan Chronicle, Economic Times. No sir, Business Standard, sir. No, it will be published in Official Gazette. Okay. So let's now see. First, what did we say? Or what do we have here? Report from expert committee. As I've told you, no, the ministry will take the help of their experts, the expert committees. A bill or draft, budget, ledger, ordinance is drafted by the respective ministry based on the report received. Then it is taken to the cabinet. Once cabinet approves it, then it is taken to the parliament. And when I say parliament, first lower house and then upper house. And in that first discussion, debate, then approval. So that's where I've written discussion and approval, not simply approval. And then taken to the president. President wants, president can give inputs. That means modification. No modification, then directly assent, approval, signature. Next, bill becomes law once president gives the assent. Law then needs to be published in the Official Gazette so that public gets to know about it. And then, sir, implementation will be taking place. Implementation again can be prospective, retrospective, or immediate. The whole law can be implemented at one go, or maybe it can be implemented in phases. Later on, after implementing, they'll understand that changes are required. So amendments, they'll understand, oh, they have done some mistakes in the law. So corrigendum, or sometimes they may issue notification, circulars, etc. Like that, things will go on. Okay, sir. Now, sir, we have few doubts in this, sir. Obviously, you should have. Same way, I have few questions also to ask here. So, like you have doubts, I have questions. So, what one? Which one do you think we should take first? No questions. Let me complete my task. My what do you say? ट्रेजरी, मेरा खजाना खत्म हो जाने दो, फिर आपका आने दो, तो मजा आएगा। तो आपको भी पता चलेगा सर के पास सही में एक्सपीरियंस है भी या नहीं, या ऐसे ही बोल रहे? करेक्ट? नो? सी हाउ डू यू थिंक आई हैव गॉट क्वेश्चंस? Obviously, with my experience, I've understood this is what normally students ask. This is what students have asked. So few I visualize, few from my past experience I take it, and then we go ahead. And secondly, if you give me a chance to ask questions first, you'll understand my approach also, how I pursue things. ठीक है, मैं बता दिया, but उसके बाद मैं क्या कर रहा हूं खुद, myself, without waiting for you to ask, is raising question and answering it, isn't it? Judicial, cause-judicial, you didn't ask, I raised. Equity, I raised. Like that, you're able to understand my approach also, no? Oh, sir sees the whole thing. First he's discussing something, then showing the slide, then if something there which we cannot follow, he's answering. Are you understanding my approach? Easily. So let me first complete mera pitara, and then we'll come to your pitara. Okay, if it is left. So first thing, sir, who are there in expert committee, sir? Who will form this expert committee, sir? So answer is obviously government will form it. And in this, when we say expert, depends on the subject. If it is company law related matter, then obviously you expect the experts to be of company law field, isn't it? If it is cyber related, cyber law related one, then you expect the experts to be in information technology. So obviously the experts will be from the respective field, from the respective subject. And who will form this committee? Government. Okay, sir, followed. Then next, sir, bill or draft or letter or budget or ordinance, it's all one and the same? Yes. Sir, but ordinance is nothing but temporary law. The life of an ordinance is normally 6 months. Suppose there is an urgency to make some law and they are not able to make it, because the whole procedure has to be followed, no? So it will take time. So if they don't have so much of time, they'll bring ordinance, temporary law. So that temporary law may become permanent if everything goes well. Otherwise, it will be thrown out after 6 months. Understand? After 6 months also, there is some 6 weeks time, I guess it's given to make it permanent. कितना? 6 weeks time मिलता 6 months के बाद. तो ऐसा बोल सकते हैं the life of the ordinance is 6 months plus 6 weeks, ऐसा. Okay, 6 or 8, I am not sure of that, but then कुछ तो time रहता है. ठीक है sir. So 6 months, and then this time given, if everything goes well, it will become permanent. Otherwise, it will be discarded. It will be thrown out. But it's ultimately temporary law. So that's where I'm saying from temporary it may become permanent. So I can take it here. Understood? So if someone is having doubt why I am written ordinance, because ordinance is also like bill, like draft. Okay. But sir, you have explained some difference. Temporary law, so you are calling it as law. Yes. But bill I can't call it as law. Bill can't be implemented. But ordinance can be implemented before it becomes permanent. That's the difference. If you have क्या बोलते catch कर लिया आप लोग तो, that's the difference between ordinance and bill. Understood? Come on guys. Okay sir. Drafted by respective ministry, we followed, sir. Railway related means railway ministry, finance ministry, like that we understood. Cabinet. Sir, why it has to be taken to cabinet? See, one ministry which is drafting might think of itself. And if they share with other ministries, the other ministries will be able to help them understand the impact on them, on others. So with their inputs, they can make a full-fledged law and comprehensive law. है ना? See, I might think, suppose I am making something without taking inputs from you, then I may not understand how it will impact you, and then it will not be complete. But if I have to make something for us, I should include you also, not or not. Same way here. Better no boss. Suppose in a company, director finance is taking all the decisions, finance no, without asking director marketing, director production, director HR, किसको नहीं पूछ रहा. होता ऐसा काम? नहीं होता, फिर मुश्किल ही होगा. Same way here, please understand that other ministries should be consulted. That's where this. Sir, then why parliament, sir? Acha, law is for whom? Society, us. Now, can they ask all of us and make any law? 50 years, next 50 years also, they'll not be able to make single law if they do like this. Correct? It's not possible, boss. So that is where what we have? Representatives. Elections. We are sending our representative from here or not? To state legislature we are sending, to parliament also we are sending. So he is our mouthpiece. He is conveying what we want. Yes or no? So now, because it is for society and they cannot ask each and every citizen in the society, that's where whom they are asking? Representatives. And where, what is the adda of those representatives? कहाँ बैठते वो लोग? सुट्टा कहाँ मारते? Parliament. Don't take it literally, huh? When I say this. So that is their adda. So Parliament. In that first lower house, then upper house, that's understandable. Lower, upper से ही पता चल रहा है. Okay, sir. So followed. Sir, why discussion? Why not approval? That also I've answered already. Democracy. Okay, sir. Sir, that means they can suggest modifications, changes. Yes. Those members of parliament can give their input. And if their input is acceptable, then the bill has to make changes. The bill has to make changes. Okay. Now goes to president. Why president, sir? Why president? First citizen of the country. You cannot ask each and every citizen of this country, but at least ask first citizen. No? Give respect. First citizen, when you are calling, give respect. So, okay, let us give respect this way. Other ways also we give respect, but this is one of the ways. So we say, at least you, the first citizen, Mrs. Madam, Mr. Sir, whatever. Mr. Sir, Madam to nahi hota. So please go through. So the president will go through. Okay. President wants some input, some changes. She will suggest or he will suggest. President says, no, this is not the bill which I was expecting. Correct. Take back to the parliament. On these points, I am rejecting it. So take back, discuss again, make changes and come to me. Correct. So president has that power. First citizen of the country. No, she is okay with everything. Everything is fine. Or whatever changes she suggested that were incorporated, then she will give the assent, approval. Assent means what? Approval. ASSENT. Next. Now president gave the assent. So it becomes what? Law, act, statute. Then they'll publish it in official where. Now public should know about it. So where will they publish it? Official Gazette. Sir, what is official gazette? An official newspaper released by government or government agencies. Like how DC, Times of India we have. No? Those are private players who are publishing the newspaper. Instead of that, if I say the government publishing, that will be what? Official Gazette. Sir, how does it look like? Can you show it to us? Yes, definitely I'll do that. Don't worry. I'll show you the Companies Act, how it was published in the Official Gazette. I'll show you the LLP Act, how it was published in the Official Gazette. Don't worry about that. I will do that. Right, sir. Then after publishing it, public gets to know about it. So it can be implemented. It can be followed. Okay, sir. You wrote at one go or phased manner. Why like that, sir? Huh? At one go or phased manner I have written, no? At one go means the whole of the law is implemented at one time. Why like that, sir? Law is small, sir. Yes, maybe. Or they are very sure that this law will be not rejected by anyone. That's where at one go, the whole law at one go. But sometimes phases also is possible. Few sections now, few sections later, like that they will divide it into phases. Company law is the best example for that, for your information. Companies Act 2013. It was not implemented at one go. It took 10 years of time to implement Companies Act 2013. So they have implemented in phases. Now we can say fully implemented. Getting it? Okay, sir. Then, sir, you wrote prospective, retrospective, immediate. What does it mean? Prospective means what? Future date. Prospective, prospect, future. So law may be implemented from a future date. Second possibility. Retrospective means backdated. Rarest of the case that will happen. It doesn't happen normally, huh? Very rarely they might introduce or implement law retrospectively. Okay, sir. Third, immediate. Today president gave the assent, tomorrow implemented. Like that also can happen. So tell me which one is more popular? Prospective. Very good. Future date. They'll give some time to prepare and all. So future date is normally, you can say, the one which is used. But I'm not saying only prospective. Huh? Sometimes even retrospective. Rarest case, but possible to hai boss. क्यों सर ऐसा क्यों करते हैं, क्यों retrospective back date, क्यों required? Principles of justice says it should be done. They might do it. Very rarely, but can be done. Possibility is there, that's why I have to discuss. Okay, sir. Then, sir, amendments. Amendments. Then what? Corrigendum. Corrigendum. Then what? Notifications. You know corrigendum? What is it? Rectification. See, like we can commit mistakes, lawmakers also might commit mistakes. Not intentionally, unintentionally it have happened. So they rectify it. Amendment means what? Changes. Notification. Sir, through notification, what will they bring? Some exemptions. Are you getting my point? ऐसा तो notification circulars ऐसा issue कर, because smoothly implementation should go on. Okay, sir. Right, sir. Followed, sir? Yes, sir. Now, if you have any question, please ask. Let's see if you have any other thing which is left out here. What is official gazette? Official newspaper released by government or government agencies. Complete it, huh? Released by whom? Government or government agencies. What is corrigendum? Rectification of mistakes. What is retrospective? Backdated. Prospective? Future date. No, you don't have any doubt? I thought you'll ask one doubt. Anyways, I wanted to leave something for you to just get that confidence. वो ठीक है, वो तो हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे, वो आप चिंता मत करो. I wanted something else for you to ask. Though I wanted to cover it, but I thought, let me see, who knows, you may ask. Let me give you that chance, and you will also then gain confidence. Yes, see, even after sir completed everything, I still asked something. है ना? Anyways, Balaswamy wants to say something. Let's hear out from him. New bill. Rectification. और क्या? See, but what you're talking about is next to impossible. Experts, cabinet. So it's not like today, today they have prepared on that bill and tomorrow they have come to parliament. Lot of hard work goes in that. Lot of time has been spent. So what you're talking about is not making sense at all. But still, if you say, no sir, let's say parliament did not approve it, they'll work on that bill. Again, give them a chance, come up with a new bill. Okay, sir. मिनिस्ट्री थोड़ी पास किया राजा, मिनिस्ट्री तो प्रपोज किया। हाँ, फिर कौन करता? फिनेंस मिनिस्ट्री अभी आप थोड़ी करेंगे। फिनेंस बिल अगर लाना है फिनेंस मिनिस्ट्री करेगी। चलो एटलीस्ट आप वो पॉइंट बोले जो मैं सोचा अभी पूछेंगे आप लोग। यही था पॉइंट जो मेरे को कवर करना था, बट ऐसे नहीं जैसे आप बोले। सी nowadays what is happening is the government is giving a chance to the general public and professionals as well to share their inputs. Like when they came up with company bill, this company law related, Companies Act 2013 related bill, no, in 2008 itself they started the exercise. Then they could get the bill passed in 2013. Just imagine 5 years time. So when they introduced this bill, they gave chance to professionals like chartered accountants, company secretaries, cost accountants and others to share their inputs. Same way public companies, directors to share their inputs. They considered that as well before taking it to the parliament. This also is done these days. They say let's involve, at least give them a chance, why not? So not just that the act is published in official gazette, but the bill also is published in official gazette. And give the chance to public and professionals. Come up with your inputs. So the point you were saying, why I said, you understood, Balswami, next to impossible. After all this deliberate and comprehensive, detailed exercise, do you think there is a chance that a bill will not be approved by the parliament? इतनी हिम्मत है क्या वो मेंबर्स ऑफ पार्लियामेंट में कि पब्लिक जो बोला, प्रोफेशनल्स जो बोले, एक्सपर्ट जो बोले, सबको रिजेक्ट करके बोल रहे नहीं नहीं हम तो हटा दे रहे इसको? नहीं होता. चेंज इज पॉसिबल. हाँ, सम इम्प्रोवाइजेशन, ठीक है, दिस इज देयर, बट प्रॉब्ली दिस कैन बी इम्प्रोवाइज टू दिस. आई एम नॉट रूलिंग आउट, प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, बट दैट पॉसिबिलिटी इज माइनर, minute. Okay, sir. Followed, sir. One more thing. Notification. By way of notification, what did I say they can bring? Exemption. That is one. Don't think only exemptions will be brought by way of notification. Even amendments are brought by way of notification. Notifications are mandatory in nature. Notifications are mandatory in nature. Okay. So if they bring some notification, that means it is compulsorily to be followed. Sir, why are you saying like this? Why did you point out this? We know this. Because of the simple reason, sometimes there are circulars which are issued and they are kept optional in nature. Circular. And that too optional in nature. The government doesn't make it mandatory. They say we are clarifying like this. If you want to follow, you follow. You don't want to follow, leave it. Like that also happens. But notification won't happen this way. Notification means always mandatory, compulsory. Clear, my dear friends? Follow. Acha, so did I say circulars are always optional? I didn't say that. Don't take it like that. But did I say notifications are always mandatory in nature? Yes, that I said. That I am saying. Clear? Great, sir. So if you have followed it and you don't have any doubts in this procedure for enactment, then we'll take up the last one for today, and that is arrangement of law. Let's take the last one, arrangement of law. I hope all of you are enjoying the subject. Only one noise or voice I could hear. Enjoyment means what? I have told you, I have defined in the previous session. So enjoyment doesn't mean always that sort of enjoyment which we normally think of. Enjoyment means knowing the subject, understanding the subject, should get that confidence in the subject. That's all enjoyment. Correct? And if it can happen in a live environment, lively environment, humorous environment, it's good enough. Correct or not? That's why I'm taking also simple examples which you can follow. Chalo. And with my examples, you are able to understand. We come across laws so much. We come across laws so much in our day-to-day life. We deal with laws, isn't it? Chalo. Arrangement of law. So what do you mean by arrangement of law? Like this classroom, do you think is arranged in a particular fashion? So is there any advantage of it? Yes, sir. Just imagine one bench is facing that side, one bench is facing this side, one bench is facing that side, camera is facing that side, I am standing like this. What will happen? Chaos. Correct. Chaos. There will be no smoothness. And do you think when there is no smoothness, when there is chaos, we'll achieve the objective? No. So arrangement is helping us or not? Yes, sir. Same way, if law is also arranged in a particular way, proper way, will it be helpful in achieving the objective of the law? Yes, sir. It will certainly. So now, my dear friends, please tell me, how is law arranged? Sir, we know in law we have sections, sir. In law we know that there are schedules, sir. Subsections भी रहते सर. तो वही पूछ रहा हूं, मैं भी वही पूछ रहा हूं. बताओ पूरा. फर्स्टली मत बोलना, फर्स्टली सेक्शन बोल के गलत हो जाएगा. वो तो मैं ही बोल दिया. शेड्यूल भी मैं बोला, सेक्शन भी, सबसेक्शन भी. ओके, टाइटल. That is covered in section, no sir? Okay. Preamble will not be there. Every law will have an objective, no? So preamble is there, no? Then don't you think like in your textbooks normally you will find chapters are there? They group certain concepts and name it as one chapter, two chapters, three chapters. In law also you will find chapters, no? You have read Indian Contract Act, chapter 1 to chapter 6, general contracts. 7 chapter was relating to sale of goods. 8, 9, 10 special contracts. 11 relating to partnership. ऐसा गुरो मत मेरे को, वैसा ही है वो. 1 to 11 chapters हैं आपके इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट में, उसमें से 2 omitted. Omitted क्यों? Because separate laws they have made, partnership and sale of goods. Right? So there are chapters. That means they've grouped those sections into chapters or parts. Sometimes parts. Sometimes chapters and parts both. In chapters you'll find parts. Like chapters, sub chapters होते हैं ना, वैसे. Parts, sub parts. You're getting my point? Then in chapters or parts we'll have sections, subsections, clauses, subclauses, proviso, sub-proviso, explanation, all that. They arrange it beautifully. Schedules, appendix, annexures, all that you will find in a law. Okay. Sir, title you have not written. Yes, intentionally avoided it. टाइटल तो सबको पता है रहता है, तो इसलिए शुरू कहां से किया? प्रियम्बल. प्रियम्बल मीन्स व्हाट? ऑब्जेक्टिव इन शॉर्ट. इन शॉर्ट. सेकंड parts or chapters. Sir, what did you write beside that? Beside that, what is written? How do they denote? Generally, you will find parts or chapters denoted by Roman numbers, that too capital letters, with or without alphabets. Like you may find chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 3a, chapter 3b. Roman numbers, that too capital 1, with or without alphabets. Second, next, sections. How do they denote sections? So normal number, it's not Roman number. Again, with or without alphabets. You might have seen some alphanumeric sections, no? In your foundation. It was not only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 18a also you have seen. So that way you have seen some alphanumeric sections, alphabet with number. Next, subsections. So same as section but within brackets. Subsections are always same as section but within brackets. Next, clauses. Next, clauses. Small alphabets within brackets, or small Roman numbers with or without alphabets within brackets. Brackets is must. Either it can be small alphabets, I repeat, or it can be what? Small Roman numbers with or without alphabets. Are you able to understand? Subclauses depends on clause. Suppose in clause we have used small alphabets, then what will be used in subclauses? Small Roman numbers with or without alphabets. No sir, in clauses we have used small Roman numbers with or without alphabets. Then what will you use in subclauses? Small alphabets. Followed but within brackets. Then proviso. What is the meaning of proviso, by the way? Exception. What do you mean by proviso? Exception. Special case. Proviso means special case, exception. So how will you identify that there is a proviso? There will be a prefix, provided that. There will be a prefix before that special case. There will be a prefix. What is that prefix? Provided that. Prefix समझता है ना? हाँ, पहले जो words लिखते हैं, the words which you write before. Suffix means the words which you write later, after. Yeah. So prefix will be provided that. So that way we can understand, oh, that's proviso. And sub proviso, that means further exception. So further provided that. Okay, further provided that. Then explanation. Explanation. Next, schedules, schedules. Schedules, schedules. How do they represent? How do they denote? Again, small Roman number, correct? No sir, it's capital Roman number with or without alphabets, like chapter numbers. Same goes with annexure or appendix. Annexures or appendix. Capital Roman numbers with or without alphabets. Sir, then in note, what did you write? You agree? All provisos are what? Provisions. But every provision is not a proviso. What do you mean by provision, by the way? What do you mean by provision? Anything written in law is a provision. Anything written in law is provision. So everything, like section is a provision, subsection is a provision, clause is a provision, provision is a provision, everything is a provision. Yes or no? That's where I have written that note. All provisos are provisions, but every provision is not a proviso. You will find only provisos in law. Sir, proviso means special case. So for that, first of all, there should be some case written. Then only special case will come, no? Exception. First we have to write something, then we can write exception. We don't write anything and we write exception. How will it work? Good. So you have followed it. Right, sir? Sir, any questions here, sir? Definitely, sir. I'm not asking you questions. I'm saying you will ask me, sir, any questions you have, please ask. I have some questions. Yes or no? Yes. So I'll ask. So I'm not giving you a chance first to ask questions. I will always ask questions myself first, then give you a chance to ask questions. So I have not one, but rather more than one questions here. ठीक है, पूछूं? Shall I ask? Yes, sir, definitely. That will help us, no? I'm raising questions. Are they not helping you guys? Right. So first thing, sir, you said preamble means objective in short. So if someone wants to understand the objective in detail, then there is something called a statement of objects and reasons. Yeah, statement of objects and reasons that will give objective in detail. Okay, sir, got to. Are right also? You're just hearing but not writing. See, when I raise question and answer, you should write that also as far as possible. है ना? Official gazette कितने लोग लिखे? Good, but all have not written. And tomorrow you'll face problem then. What is official gazette? Official newspaper released by government or government agencies. See, if you write, then you will revise. When you revise, you will not forget. Correct? So what did I say here? Preamble means what? Objective in short. And where is objective in detail? Statement of objects and reasons. Acha sir, okay. Thank you sir. My pleasure sir. Next sir. Sir, you said the parts or chapters can be alphanumeric. Same way section alphanumeric, subsection alphanumeric, clause alphanumeric, subclause alphanumeric. Why sir? Why chapter 1, 2, 3, then 3A, 3B? After 3 directly 4 should come. So please understand, after 3, 4 only had come when they initially introduced. When they initially got it, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But 3 years later, they thought that we should amend. And that amendment should come between 3 and 4. So what number they can give? 3A. They gave 3A. Then 2 years later, they thought, array, after 3A and 4 there should be something. They added 3B. Like that it happens. So all alphanumeric sections, chapters means amendments. 18A, section 18A when you read, you should immediately understand this is an amendment. This was not originally there. Originally it was 18, 19, 20 like that. So if there you find 18A, that means amendment. It was introduced later. Clear? Same way for clause, subclause and all. Right, sir. Sir, proviso, can you give an example? Chindi example, simple example. Chindi, simple example. Yes. Your good name, sir? Shivek. Shivani says, Shivek, I would talk to you provided it makes sense. Kya boli Shivani? I would talk to you provided it makes sense. That means Shivek generally talks nonsense. See, I didn't say, Shivani is saying. Okay. Generally, Shivek talks nonsense. But exceptionally, as a special case, if he talks sensible, sense, right? There is some sense. Then she is ready to talk to him. Samajh mein aa gaya? So, general and special. And provided, word provided is used before that special case, prefix. I would talk to you provided it makes sense. So making sense is exception. That's why the word provided has come before that. Clear, my dear friends? Like that in law you will find provisos. And important to understand those provisos because those are exceptions or special cases. Clear? Sub proviso, as I have told you, further exception. So further provided that. Now tomorrow when we meet, the next session when we meet, I will ask 1 or 2 questions more in this. And the first question which I will be asking you is explanation. So just in case I forget, you will remind me. Sir, you were saying that you will ask 1 or 2 questions. And the one which you will start with is, what do we mean by explanation? Okay? Clear? So thank you so much. God bless you all. Have a great day, good day ahead. See you all in the next session. Bye-bye. Thank you.